other systemic complications like SIRS and other organ failure, respiratory, coagulation, cardiac, your brain, kidney, liver, everything else. But if it is in the chronic, then it's usually the local complications, etc. So in the acute setting, the complications, what you should expect are pancreatic or peripancreatic fluid collection and acute necrosis. This is what you might recall what I spoke about last time. Less than 4 weeks and more than 4 weeks, right? So less than 4 weeks, you have your peripancreatic fluid collection and you have acute necrosis. Whereas above 4 weeks, this peripancreatic is what becomes the pseudocyst. Okay, pseudocyst, and you have your acute necrotic becomes your walled off pancreatic necrosis. So what is the difference between these two? Here you have a well-defined wall. So that's why that 4 weeks is important, because once a well-defined wall is present, intervention will be easier. In this state, less than 4 weeks, it's always in the liquid state. Intervention is not actually advisable unless the patient has any continuous focus of infection. So for example, if a patient has an acute necrosis, okay, an acute necrosis, when you expect, always remember, you expect around 72 hours, that is around the 3rd day. So how will you figure out the acute necrosis? It is by a contrast enhanced CT. Okay, so contrast enhanced CT, you can see it is hypo-enhancing, which means it is not enhancing at all when you're giving the contrast. That is how you can confirm the necrosis, which is usually done at 72 hours after an attack of acute pancreatitis. So if you have an acute necrosis, there also we learned there are 2 types, either a sterile or an infected. So infected is if you can find the air bubbles inside, that means the gas, small gas pockets. Okay, so that is infected necrosis. Otherwise, you don't require antibiotics. So role of antibiotics is when there is infected necrosis. But if the patient has got growing infected necrosis despite antibiotics, he's not improving, he's clinically deteriorating, the fluid collection is going on increasing in size, all of this is present, then you have to go in for intervention even if it is less than 4 weeks. Otherwise, we usually wait for above 4 weeks before intervention. So what's the local complications? When you look at the pancreas, you can figure out. Commonest, these complications we learned about. Then one is, other than fluid collections, you have vascular complications. You have bowel infarction, because vascular complications, you have the what happens at the back of the neck of the pancreas. It's the unison of the splenic and the superior mesenteric to form the portal vein. So you can have a portal vein or an SMB thrombosis or a splenic thrombosis. So any of these thrombosis happens, what happens? Splenic vein thrombosis, when it happens, you have gastric varices because it's in the left side, and splenic vein drains through the coronary vein into the gastric vein. So that appears as fundal varices. So that is one thing. It's called as left-sided portal hypertension in a patient with pancreatitis, or it's called as a sinister hypertension. Sinister or a left-sided portal hypertension. Right-sided is because of the liver. So left-sided is because of the splenic vein thrombus. Left-sided portal hypertension. Okay. Apart from that, when you have a superior mesenteric, which is also involved, then what will you have? You'll have a bowel infarction. So these are some of the other complications. Similarly, you have a pancreatic duct which runs across. Sometimes that can rupture. So when you have a pancreatic duct rupture, what happens? The fluid escapes. Either it escapes into the hollow viscus, or it can come into the peritoneal cavity itself, presenting as a pancreatic ascites. So you'll have a patient with ascites. For evaluation, one of the DDs is pancreatic ascites. And how will you figure out? It is by an amylase, which will, because this pancreatic duct is secreting amylase, right? So amylase will be very high from the pancreatic fluid, or sorry, from the ascitic fluid. And hence you can figure out the nature of the ascites. Okay. Similarly, if you have rupture of the lymphatics, then you have a chylous ascites, because chyle ruptures into the peritoneum. See some of the complications which appear. Okay. And you also have common structures present out here. You have your bile duct. So if there is an inflammatory mass out here, inflammatory mass usually appears in pancreatitis. So if there's an inflammatory mass, this may impinge on the common bile duct. So it is like an extrinsic impression on the bile duct, resulting in delayed passage of bile from above to below. So it is a kind of a CBD obstruction, not because of an intrinsic cause, because of an extrinsic cause, something outside. Similarly, if you have an inflammatory mass or an inflammation out here, it can also impinge on the duodenum, right, in the C loop of the duodenum, presenting as a gastric outlet obstruction. So if you look at the local complications, see what are the structures around. You have vascular, that is behind. Then you have the gastric outlet obstruction. You have the duodenal obstruction. You have the CBD causing cholangitis and extensive obstruction.